Good morning, students. This is class 7th, and I'm here to take environmental education and chapter 1, that is revision of class 6. And the name of the chapter is Our Environment. So it's the first chapter, Our Environment. Let us see. I'll just share the screen with you and you can accordingly follow up. Okay. Well, before we start off, we should know what is our environment. What is this environmental study all about? Or the environmental education is a multidisciplinary science because it comprises various branches of studies like chemistry, physics, medical science, life science, agriculture, public health, sanitary, engineering, etc. It is the science of physical phenomena in the environment. It studies of the sources, reactions, the transport, effect and fate of physical and biological species in the air, water and soil, and the effect of it from human activity. Well, literally, environment means the surrounding. The environment means the surrounding. External conditions influencing development of growth of people, animal or plants, living or working conditions. Right. Now, however, man can exist or be understood in isolation from the other forms of life and from plants' life. Hence, environment refers to the sum total of conditions which surround point in space and time. Therefore, the scope of the term environment has been changing and widening by the passage of time. In the primitive age, he says, the environment consisted of only physical aspects. The environment consisted of only physical aspects of the planted earth. That is land, air, and water as biological communities. As the time passed on, man extended his environment through his social, economic, and political functions. Now, environment is the sum total of all the external forces influencing and the condition of which affects the life, nature, behavior, and the growth and development of maturation of living organisms. So, now what is the scope of an environment? What is the scope of environmental education? Yes, the environment consists of mainly these 4 segments. And the Four segments are: first is atmosphere, second hydrosphere, third the lithosphere, and the fourth is the biosphere. All right, more about it we shall now discuss in this chapter over here. That is, he says, when we talk of environment, we are actually speaking of our surroundings. So all whatever surrounds us, we are speaking mostly around of. When we speak of the environment, we speak of all what is around us. Okay, these surroundings are different from place to place. So they differ from place to place. They are not the same. The surroundings, what we see everywhere, are not the same everywhere. They are different everywhere. It is also related to the organisms. Hence, we can say that the surroundings of an organism are its environment. Now, you may live in Delhi or go to Shimla. You can observe that there is a change in the surrounding. So, if you go to Delhi, if you go to Shimla, you go down south to Kerala, anywhere you go, you will find the difference in the surroundings, the environment. Okay, environment can be categorized in various ways. We can break up our environment as first the environment into natural and social, and further natural environment into physical and biological. That is, physical is abiotic and biological is biotic. So, what is natural environment? A natural environment consists of two components. It is non-living and also called the abiotic component. So the non-living also called the abiotic component and living known as the biotic component. So it consists of two components, that is non-living and living. Okay, so abiotic or non-living environment. So first we are going to see the abiotic component of the environment, and that is the non-living environment. This includes the factors which are non-living. First of all, soil. This is the uppermost layer of the Earth's crust and supports plants, which in turn supports life of animals. It is the medium in which plants fix themselves and get mineral and water. Soil is also the home of many small animals. Second part, air and wind. There is an envelope of air around the Earth, which is called the atmosphere. Moving air is also called wind. This atmosphere is protective in function as it saves us from excessive heat and the ultraviolet, that is UV rays of the sun. So it protects us, the atmosphere protects us from the ultraviolet rays which are produced from the sun. It helps plants to make food and release oxygen. Thus, it plays a major role in affecting our environment, and it can determine the climate and weather conditions. So it can tell us about the climate and the weather conditions. Wind can help in maintaining temperature. It can bring rainfall, and we know that the monsoon winds, they are the ones which bring us rainfall. Third, water, humidity, and rain. Now, nearly three quarters of our earth is covered with water. Water is present in the water bodies. Water present in air in the form of vapor is called water vapor. And when water from air condenses, it is called rain. So this is a natural phenomenon. We know about it that when water vapor condenses and it comes down as rain. Life is impossible without water, as most of the living beings have water in their bodies. So moreover, water is a habitat for a variety of animals, such as fish, and presence of water vapor in the air or humidity also affects the environment. Now, you have seen we sweat too much during rainy season. Why is this? Why does this happen? Why do we sweat too much during rainy season? This is mainly because there is too much of humidity in the air. So the air is humid, and therefore we tend to sweat. Rain also plays an important role in determining the environment of a place. For example, in places where there is less rain, as in the deserts, the climate is dry and it is very hot. The fourth part is the temperature. Temperature of a place can make it hot or cold, which in turn affects the condition of soil. Humidity in air, flows of air, and thus affects life in general. Next is light. Light is a factor which affects plants and animals both. Plants need light to make food. Animals need light too. Moreover, the resting time of animals is affected by light. Some animals sleep in the day while some at night. And the climatic conditions also depend on the sunlight received at a place. Therefore, in the desert, we find the effect of light and the heat on plants. So it is true for cold regions or regions which receive less light. Well, children, I shall wind up here today. And we shall carry on with the second part, that is the biotic or living environment, tomorrow in my same environmental education class. Okay, so that's all for today, and have a nice day.